Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee. Mano's here.
Yeah.
I feel bad. Mano's been working so hard. He is exhausted.
Tired.
No, Mano.
It's all right.
Let's get into some Yee tea. Now, former Ray John Rondo was arrested on gun and drug charges in Indiana.
What?
By the way, he was immediately released, but this happened on Sunday. Apparently, he was pulled over, and that was for a traffic violation. And according to reports, there was marijuana coming from the car. They smelled that. And then the trooper found a gun and a small amount of weed and paraphernalia. He was charged with drug and paraphernalia possession and also unlawful possession of a firearm. Now, that unlawful charge is because he has a protective order against him after a woman in Louisville said that he threatened her life in 2022. So you're not allowed to own firearms if there's a protective order that's been brought against you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. But he was definitely released, and all the charges are misdemeanors. All right, Issa Rae is wanting to be independent, and I feel like she has the power to be able to do that. You know, Rap-ish was canceled. And I love that show. It was only 2 seasons, and I did not feel like it was time to let that show go. And it did really well, too. That's why it was surprising. But she spoke to Net-a-Porter about black television projects being disregarded. And Insecure did amazing, too. And I feel like Insecure wasn't canceled. She just decided it had run its course, and it was time to let it go. And I missed it already. I miss it still. But she said, it's already happening. You're seeing so many black shows get canceled. You're seeing so many executives, especially on the DEI side, get canned. You're seeing very clearly now that our stories are less of a priority. And she said, I'm pessimistic because there's no one holding anybody accountable, and I can, sure, but also at what cost as far as being independent. I can't force you to make my stuff. It's made me take more steps to try to be independent down the line if I have to. I mean, that's the only answer. Right. And I see a lot more people creating their own streaming services and platforms.
Yeah.
James DuBose.
Yeah, shout out to James DuBose. When you ain't got no other choice, you don't have no other options, you learn how to do it yourself.
Yeah, so that's important to have our stories told, but I think that you have to go where you are appreciated and also know that your hard work is not going to get canceled even when it's doing well. All right, Quavo has introduced a new cognac brand. It's called White X. So that's his new thing. He's teamed with the Sazerac company to introduce this White X cognac. It's a brighter alternative to the darker drink options. It'll be one of the first and only white cognacs available in the United States. You know, Hennessy has that Hennessy White.
Right, Hennessy White, yeah.
But that's not available here. So White X cognac is supposed to have stone fruits like white and yellow peaches and vanilla, and a refreshing flavor that's similar to a crisp white wine. Something that maybe you want to try, okay? All right, now, Yasin Bey, a.k.a. Mos Def, is talking about those comments that he had made about Drake. You know, he had discussed how he thinks that Drake is more of a pop artist. He was speaking about this on Instagram Live. Now, here's what he had said previously about Drake being pop.
Drake is pop to me, in the sense like if I was in Target in Houston and I heard a Drake song, it feels like a lot of his music is compatible with shopping.
Well, here's what Mos Def, a.k.a. Yasin Bey, has to say now.
Drake, if you would like to speak to me directly, you can at any point. I reached out to Chappelle, asked him to reach out to you. I DM'd you. You are a very talented MC. But for me, I require more of myself and others than just talent or charm or charisma. And what I would like to see in terms of creators or creative people in the world as it relates to our culture is for people to connect with us beyond the jukebox.
Right. So I don't know. What do you think, Mano, as an artist yourself?
Yeah, Drake rap his ass off. Like I don't get all that. Like he raps.
You know what the thing is that he writes hits. He writes
hits, but he can rap though. Like and that's he's an MC, right? So that's what it's about. Now you may not like his music. It may not be for you, but
I think he does like it, but what he's saying is that it's more on the pop side. The supermarket comment was probably what took it over the line.
That was a shot, though.
Yeah.
That was a little shot, right?
It was definitely a shot.
But popular music, that's what pop music is.
Yeah, and hip-hop is.
Hip-hop been pop music.
Yeah, it's been very popular. It is pop music at this point.
Since 20 years ago.
All right, well, that is your Yeezy. I'm sure we'll discuss this more later. In the meantime, we have Under the Radar. When we come back, these are the stories that are not necessarily in the headlines. They are flying under the radar. And here's a song I love. It gives me a nice nostalgic feeling. Here's Beyonce with Love on Top.